Hello, and welcome to my Canadian Speed Puzzling 2025 recap. In this video, I'll be talking about the many accomplishments of Canadian speed puzzling in 2025, and there were a lot. I am not personally associated or involved with any organization or group that I may mention in this video. This is just to talk about the great things that Canadian speed puzzlers did in 2025. All information shared in this video is public and has been shared with me. There's a lot to get through in this video, so I may be reading a little bit more than usual, but if I missed anyone or anything, and I'm sure that I did, please leave a comment below and let me know who or what to watch out for in 2026. We'll start off with the Canadian Jigsaw Puzzle Association, otherwise known as the CJPA. This year, the CJPA held the third national championship in May, and they set their own record for participants attending. They were able to get unreleased puzzles for all 9 rounds, so individuals, pairs, and teams. 7 of the 9 images were made by Canadian artists or designed by Canadian artists, a first for anywhere else in the world when it comes to national championships. In the individual competition at nationals for the second year in a row, Megan Sloka was crowned the champion. In second place was Riley Graybrook, and in third place was Katie Delude-Sicard. Rounding out the podium in 4th through 6th place, was Shelby Campbell, Devin Donaldson, and Tess McLaughlin. I finished in 7th. Just want to throw it out there. A good year for me too. In the pairs events, the Canadian Nationals continued to hold a 1,000-piece puzzle in the final round, still one of the only national and international competitions in the world that provides their competitors with that challenge. Katie and Devin walked away in first place for the pairs event, Liam Kearns and Tess finishing in second place, and Riley Graybrook and Amanda Belanger coming in at third. And rounding out the podium in 4th through 6th place in the pairs event, we had Vicky Richardson and Tracy Nonamura, Liam Bennett and Cameron Bennett, and Nicholas Seaborn and Megan Sloka. And my partner and I, Rachel Hamilton, finished in 12th place. And finally, in the teams event, we had Team Piece by Piece finishing in 1st place. Team members for that included Danielle Engelson, Tess McLaughlin, Liam Kearns, and Amanda Matthews. Finishing just seconds behind them in 2nd place was Team Moosing Pieces. I was on this team along with Riley Graybrook, Alison Elgersma, and Amanda Belanger. And in 3rd place, we had Team Goal Getters, made up of Katie Delude-Sicard, Devin Donaldson, Sophie Helg, and Jacinth Dussault. The CJPA also hosted 2 regional events, one in British Columbia and one in Quebec, with an announcement that there will be more coming in 2026. 23 virtual competitions were also hosted by the CJPA in partnership with Puzzles Canada, Canada's largest puzzle warehouse. There's also a number of different sponsors. Of these 23 competitions, 15 of them were individuals and 8 were pairs. For full results for any competition hosted by the CJPA, including regional and national competitions, all of this information can be found on their website. And finally, for the CJPA, other notable events from 2025 included their first puzzle retreat, their first social evening before a national competition, the launch of their traveling puzzles, and a few virtual family and friend events. And there is more to come in 2026. In September of 2025, the other significant event for Canadian speed puzzlers took place. It was the World Championships that was hosted in Valladolid, Spain. A total of 53 Canadians took part in the individual events at the World Championships, which was by far the largest contingent of Canadians that has ever gone to the World Championships. Before World started, I did make a prediction video on how I thought those 53 Canadians would do, so let's just look at some of the results. I predicted 5 names as locks to make the semi-finals in the individual rounds, and they were Megan Sloka, Katie Delude, Devin Donaldson, and Tess McLaughlin, and Irina Shvidchenko. All 5 of these puzzlers did make it through to the semifinals. I predicted 9 names of people that were highly likely to make it through to the semifinal rounds at the World Championships. This is what I'm going to have to start reading a little bit more on here, and they included myself, Alison Elgersma, Elise Fortier, Agnes Roche, Danielle Engelson, Vicky Richardson, Chantel Lamontagne, Shelina Gutierrez, and Tracy Nonamura. All 9 of these individuals also made it through. My predictions were going pretty well. I had 8 names as potential people that could make it through to the semifinals. The competition was very strong at this year's Worlds. Of those 8, 5 people did make it through into the semifinals at the World Championships, and they were Sandra Foster, Heather Noseworthy, Andre Anne Caron Boisvert, Sean Gibbs, and Tamaro Arujo. And finally, I had my dark horses. This group was made up of individuals I might not have known too much about, or those who I know have been working very, very hard in the lead up to Worlds and training and practicing a lot. And on the right day with the right puzzle, had a chance to potentially make it through to the semifinals. Of my 7 dark horses, 3 of them did move on, and these included Virginie Picard, Cameron Makareth, and Alison Brown. 2 Canadians I did not predict to make it through to the semifinals did make it through, and this is my favorite group to see because it's nice seeing the names that either I don't know much about these people and they're showing up, or proving me wrong. Either way, love it. These 2 people were Zoe Goudreau and Nicole Boyle. Again, I'm happy to be proven wrong. Next year, if there's 70 plus Canadians there, I'm definitely not going to predict all 70 make it through to the semifinals, but I hope they do. In total, 22 Canadians made it through to the semifinals, a Canadian record. Of the 22 Canadian puzzlers that made it into the semifinals, 19 of them finished their puzzle in the semifinal rounds, which is challenging. It is a 75-minute time limit. It's an accomplishment to make it to semifinals, but a bigger accomplishment on top of that to finish the semifinal puzzle. Most notably, one of my dark horses, Alison Brown, was able to finish her puzzle in the semifinals with just 35 seconds left to spare. Congratulations. I predicted 11 Canadians would make it into the finals at the World Championships. I got 7 correct. They were Megan Sloka, Katie DeLude, Devin Donaldson, Tess McLaughlin, Irina Shvichenko, Tracy Nonomura, and Vicky Richardson. And not included in the 11 that I predicted, another Canadian did make it through into the finals, and that was Andre-Anne Caron-Boisvert, who also qualified. And finally, for the individual rounds, I predicted that Megan Sloka would be the top Canadian finisher. However, Katie DeLude would be extremely close behind in a very close second place, and really it could have gone either way. Megan did finish as the top Canadian at the World Championships, 28th in the world, which is the highest Canadian finish ever. And just 25 seconds later, Katie DeLude finished in 31st place, second best Canadian. I don't think I could have predicted that any closer. And while I'm very happy with my own prediction results for the World Championships, I'm even more happy for the Canadians that showed up and the results that we had as a collective group. I'm really hoping 2026 is even better. In the pairs events and teams events, I did not make any predictions. I'm just going to talk about the top finishing pairs and teams at the World Championships. Although any pair in any round, you were there, you did your best, great. But we had 5 pairs make it into the final at the World Championships. Again, the highest ever for the Canadians. We also had 1 mixed pair as well. The top all-Canadian pairing was Devin Donaldson and Katie DeLude in 27th place in the world. Congratulations. And in the teams event, we had 6 Canadian teams make it into the finals, with the top Canadian team being the Damn Good Puzzlers, consisting of Devin and Katie again, as well as Danielle Engelson and Tess McLaughlin. And I want to make a special mention to my partner, Tess McLaughlin, at the World Championships. We finished in 57th place overall in the world, as well as my team, the Maple Mayhem, as we finished in 68th place in the world. Well done to all of us. After recording the video and editing it down, I remembered that I forgot to include the accomplishment at Worlds by Vicky Richardson. Vicky became the first Canadian ever to not only be on the podium, but to also finish in first place. Vicky won her age category and brought some hardware back to Canada. Well done, Vicky. Back in Canada, there were countless local competitions that took place this year. I think 2025 saw the largest kind of growth of speed puzzling from coast to coast. There's no way that I can name them all or even know what all of them are. So again, if you are aware of one that I'm not going to mention here, and there's going to be a lot, but you think they're notable and we should be following them going into 2026, leave a comment below. And yeah, we want to know what's going on across the country over the next year. So 2025 saw the full launch of the Canadian Speed Puzzlers organization. They've run a number of virtual boot camps for speed puzzlers for people of all abilities. They also hosted a number of free virtual bring your own puzzle events. I attended most of those. For more information on joining those events or looking at their boot camps, hosted by the Canadian Speed Puzzlers, there's a link to their website below. as well as their Instagram page. Download the Circle app and join to see what else they're doing for 2026, which I'll briefly mention at the end of this video. Meanwhile, in Manitoba, of all places, a Speed Puzzlers course was recently launched there, as well as a few other events. Most of these are being run or overseen by Speed Puzzlers, Rebecca Waddell, Kirsty Williams, and I think Chantel Erickson as well. And there could be more. Again, leave a comment below if I'm missing out anybody. Cities such as Ottawa continue to host events. The Ottawa Speed Puzzlers, overseen by Speed Puzzlers such as Rolanda Lamb and a few others, doing very, very good things in the nation's capital. And in late 2025, a new puzzle organization called True North Puzzle Events was launched and is overseen by Shona Daniels, who is also part of the Ottawa Puzzles group. And in other big news, Canadian puzzle brands have been growing as well. Most notably, we had Villager Puzzles, who had a very successful appearance on Dragon's Den, and they will no doubt carry that into a successful 2026. As we look forward into what the new year holds for Canadian speed puzzling, there are big things that are expected. The Canadian Speed Puzzlers organization has released a number of dates and new events, new competitions, suitable for a range of ability levels. So again, make sure to check out their website and their social media to see what's new for them in 2026. A new international event will take place in May of this year, and it's the Speed Puzzle World Series, and there will be at least a small Canadian contingent appearing there. I will be one of them. The Canadian Jigsaw Puzzle Association will host the 4th Canadian Nationals in late May of this year in a new, larger location, which means attendance is expected to increase. And when attendance goes up, there's a good chance that the ability level, especially at the top, will start to increase as well. Will we see Megan Sloka go for a 3rd consecutive championship, or will we start to see a little bit of a mix-up at the top of the leaderboard? I'm thinking that I'm probably not going to be finishing in 7th place this year. I hope to, but it's going to be a much more challenging year, especially as we saw in 2025. All the new events, the huge effort that Canadians as a whole are putting forth. I'm expecting some interesting results at this year's Canadian Nationals. And of course, Canadians will also return to the World Championships in September of this year, most likely still in Valladolid, Spain. We'll see how that goes, but again, expecting big things from Canada at the World Championships. And of course, we have these are the big major events that are taking place, along with some of the groups I've already mentioned. They'll have their events running through 2026. But there has been a rise and will continue, I hope, to be a rise in local competitions and smaller events at board game cafes, local breweries, and again, other small locations. If you know of any of those, please share them. We want to keep these types of competitions going as well. My overall prediction for speed puzzling in Canada for 2026, it's going to be great. That is it for this video. Click like if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below. Shout out your favorite Canadian speed puzzler, event, whatever. Big part of this channel is really trying to push Canadian speed puzzling and puzzling in general. It doesn't have to be just speed puzzling, but the more we know what's going on across this massive country, it can only be better. So again, leave comments below and subscribe to stay up to date with all the content on this channel. And if you aren't already, feel free to follow my Instagram at @CanadianPuzzle for more puzzle content that's on there. Happy New Year. All the best to everybody in 2026. And as always, happy puzzling. Bye.